And in this video today, I want to talk on essentially how to effectively follow up with cold leads, warm leads, and hot leads, and ultimately how to turn 30% of your ghosted messenger conversations into qualified calls and converted opportunities. Let me know in the comments below who is using organic and Facebook Messenger in particular to create opportunities for their business. So when it comes to Messenger, we know that we're using Messenger as a vehicle to communicate with prospects that come into our world, into our pipeline, and to ultimately be able to get some insight on where they're at, where they want to go, connect with them, build trust with them, and move them to ultimately becoming potentially an opportunity, a booked call, and a paid client in our business, to where we can take that relationship to a whole nother level. Now, when we look at the organic process as a whole, one thing that I often see is that we're bringing new people into our world, we're adding new friends, and we're working to grow our audience, and we're sparking conversations with those people, but we're losing sight of the people that are actually furthest into our funnel itself. So to make things super simple with what I mean by funnel and pipeline, look at it basically just within 3 stages. We have cold, warm, and hot. When you add a new friend on Facebook and you just reach out to that new prospect, there's someone that's cold. They're just getting to know you. They don't like you yet. They don't trust you yet, etc. Then we're moving them to warm. Then we're moving them to hot, to where, hey, they're open to hearing about how we can help itself. What usually happens when it comes to Facebook organic for many people, in my experience and what I've seen serving the amount of people that I have, is oftentimes they get frustrated where the conversation kind of comes to a halt at, and they're starting to see objections to the conversation. They reach out to new friends, spark the conversation, and they work to transition that conversation to business like they're told, and they try to get insight on their current situation and where they want to go. And it usually either leads to them being ghosted, them maybe sharing it and you offering a call and then being ghosted, or things come up like, I already have a mentor, I'm already doing this, I'm already doing that, and you feel like, man, I don't really want to step on their toes here, so I should probably work to a new conversation. And to amplify things further, you usually are having multiple of these going on at once. So starting multiple new conversations with these cold leads, trying to move multiple of these conversations to the point of becoming an opportunity, and it can become overwhelming at times. What I want to challenge you guys to do today as we dive into this training is to focus more on quality rather than quantity, and to focus more on the opportunities in your pipeline that can lead to some quick wins in your business and momentum and growth itself. And from there, I want to kind of go full circle and show and talk about how to really take not just hot leads and convert them into secured opportunities, but also take cold leads and move them into becoming warm leads and hot leads, and progress them through your pipeline as a whole. This whole pipeline topic here, as we're talking on, is critical within our process of messenger conversations, because the fact is everybody's at a different stage. New people coming in are at a completely different stage than people that you've already chatted with, that have already consumed your content for some time, and that already see what you're all about and the value that you provide. And I think it's easy for us as marketers to lose sight of this, because we want opportunities and we want them quick and we want to create leads, but oftentimes we feel like, man, I need to create new leads and bring new people in. But what about the people that are already in your audience now, especially for those of you that have been active on organic for some time, building an audience? I 150% guarantee there's many prospects in your audience right now that would gladly hop on a call with you and talk about what it looks like to work with you. And maybe they were an opportunity before as you were messaging them, but the timing was off. But what usually happens is we lose sight of those people because the timing was off, because they have a current mentor, because this, because that. And we just end up focusing just on people at the top of the funnel. People that are just coming into our world, that are cold, that are new friends. Now, it's not to say that those people can't convert into opportunities, because they can. It's happened for us many times, but more than often, the reason cold prospects through our process convert into opportunities quickly is because we know how to effectively follow up with those people and nurture them at a faster speed than what most typically do. And when you understand this, you can put your attention towards those quickest wins, those hottest prospects in your pipeline, and revive opportunities there first. But you also know that you have a system working for you behind the scenes that's bringing new people into your world, that's nurturing them quickly, and that's making them become a hot lead. This is what allows the pipeline to flow, grow, and ultimately bring new people, new clients, and new money into your world, into your business. This is what many tend to lose sight of when it comes to organic, because we're always focused on the new people coming in. New people are super important, but it's also really important to not lose sight of the people that are in the middle stage or at the closest point to taking that next step with you itself. And each and every one of those people need to be treated differently in terms of follow-up to them, messaging to them, and objective as a whole. And that's what we're gonna get into here today. So when we look at this map here, this is a simple visual map of what we've just been talking on. These stages, got some people in each stage. We have here new prospect in. So consider this basically you're adding a new friend on Facebook, a new person's coming into your world, and here they are at the first stage being a cold lead. Then they're warm, then they're hot. So in following up with these people effectively, each and every one of them deserves a different touch point to do this. When you look at these hot people, let's say someone you were chatting with before, you offered the call to them and they said, no, the timing isn't right now. Or they said, no, you know what? I actually just signed up for a mentor about a month ago. I want to focus on this first. Awesome. But does that mean you should completely ignore them and lose sight of them? No. And if structured correctly and followed up with correctly, you may see within 2 weeks' time of you following back up with them, that opportunity is back to life. And for many of you with these prospects that are hot here, you already have people that have passed 2 weeks' time since you chatted with them last. Leaves me knowing that these can easily become opportunities today that could be booked calls or closed sales straight away if you simply knew how to follow up with them correctly. And I think the big thing here, before we get into details on what to do for each of these scenarios, get into that shortly, it's knowing that we can see the end in mind. We can see what we're working towards and what's to come. And I think that's super, super important with messenger conversations. Those of you that follow me on my email list will see an email going out shortly from a write-up that I just done today, just off me recently talking on, I got a new Roomba vacuum. Super big for those of you that don't know. One of my weird obsessions is vacuum cleaners for some reason. I've always enjoyed cleaning and vacuums itself. From Dyson to Shark vacuums to a Roomba automated vacuum. We just got one recently and I've always wanted one. So I opened up the box and I thought, you know what? This thing's gonna be able to work and navigate through my whole house super quick and be able to vacuum everything straight away. Turned it on, let it run. 5 hours later, it still did not finish the floor. Didn't finish vacuuming because it didn't know how to navigate the waters of my house. It was new. It didn't know how to get around the different rooms in the most efficient way possible. And instead it was going over the same spots multiple times and kind of circling back to the main room over and over and over again and not getting to the other rooms along the way. In a sense, not completing the house or the cleaning itself. But then I realized, you know what? There's actually a mode on this to let it actually create a smart map and train it to know where the end is itself, to know exactly where it needs to clean and where it shouldn't clean. And it took some time to get it in and out of this training mode. Actually, turned it on the first time. I thought, you know what, if I just let this scan the whole place once, I should be ready to rock and roll. It should be good to go. But fact was, I did it once and it still didn't create the map it needed to. So I gave it 3 rounds of quote unquote training. And after those 3 rounds, it generated a map and it basically showed me a visual view of what my entire house looked like. And now it knew exactly where to navigate. It knew exactly how to clean the floor in the most efficient way possible. And it did it. And it did it in a third of the time of what it originally did without going over the same spots multiple times and wasting time doing it. And this reminds me a lot of what we're talking on here in messenger conversations. If we don't know how to navigate conversations correctly, and if we don't know how to effectively nurture, follow up, and move conversations from being cold to being hot, to being a secured opportunity, and to being a paid client, what ends up happening is we lose sight of this stuff and these people because we're so focused on these people here at the first stage, in this first room. We're almost kind of doing circles in this stage here, never really progressing people through our pipeline to this point. And as a result, we end up getting frustrated and stuck because conversations aren't moving the way that we want. But without realizing it, we are nudging people along to here, and they're progressively moving, but we stop and we go back to the same spot. And we start new conversations again. A new person comes in here. And we try to move that in and we move them down to here. Doesn't get to where we want. So we say, you know what? Time to create the next lead or try to create the next lead. So we bring a new person in. Just like the vacuum example that I just brought up, where we're basically cleaning this same spot over and over again and not giving ourselves a chance to actually complete the whole house or move them through the whole pipeline to become an opportunity itself. And what many of you guys maybe can't see right now within your own pipeline is the fact that a few small messages can get someone from here to here pretty quick. A few additional touch points can make that transition happen much more smoothly. But the only way that that can really come to life is if you know how to navigate those waters correctly and you understand exactly how to move that person from being a cold to warm to hot lead and a paying client. So now let's take things a little bit of a step further. Let's say you are doing this exact process now where you're kind of getting frustrated, bringing new people in, trying to create leads, moving people along, but getting blocked in the conversation, like I have pulled up here. Maybe you're reaching out to them, you're transitioning the convo, you're working to get insight on their current situation and desired situation. You offer the call and you get ghosted. Or you work to transition the convo and they say, I already have a mentor. We can go on and on for examples on this, but the point is, once we see this, our mind goes back to creating new and bringing new people in, which is important to replenish the pipeline. But it's also important not to lose sight of the people that we just are progressing out of this phase into the next phase, because we're so much closer to getting them to moving to this next step of becoming a warm and hot lead and being open to jumping on a call with us or hearing more about our offer and how we can help. But since we're seeing that, things are the way that I think I should see here, we start new. And this is all because we can't see the end. We don't know the map. We don't know how to navigate through the waters to get them from being cold to being hot. When we look at these people here and what we're talking about and moving them through these stages, we can amplify this much more efficiently through two types of follow-up. So hopefully you guys can still see here on the screen. It looks like you can here as I pull this back up. So I like to look at it this way. We have indirect, two types of follow-up that we utilize within our process. Indirect follow-up, indirect follow-up. Now what I mean by this is we're either indirectly leading to them to free value to nurture them and build deeper trust, or we're directly moving them to a potential opportunity that's specific towards their situation. So let's say we start with these cold examples and we're trying to take this person, we realize, they have a mentor, but rather than stopping here and starting new, what if we move them to this next step to becoming a little bit warmer? And how can we do this? We can do this by not only making our efforts in cold outreach be more fruitful and using it to actually grow our audience, but we can also do it to actually move people through our pipeline. So let's say you got into some conversation. We'll actually pull these guys back because we may need a few more. Let's say you got in conversation with somebody here. They were talking to you about where they're at with their business or just getting started with their coaching business or affiliate marketing business, working to make that first sale, kind of feeling stuck with content, but they just signed up for a new mentor and they're feeling pretty confident in the direction that they're headed. Awesome. It's great for them. Doesn't mean that you can't fit into being an opportunity for them or benefit them in any way, shape, or form. Because because somebody has a current mentor, maybe they have a mentor that's specific to mindset and you're a mentor that's specific to content. Another topic of discussion, but the point is, if we feel that we could potentially help this person in the future, we feel they are potentially a good fit to work with us from what we know so far, why not at least move them into our ecosystem and get them to take that next step? One simple way that you can do this, for those of you that have a Facebook group, is look at it this way. You're having a conversation with this cold person. They just give you that I have a mentor line or let you know they just signed up with a new program to break past what they're dealing with. You relay back to them, you let them know that's awesome. Like the fact that it's a smart move by them to invest in themselves, invest in their business. Then you can lean towards just asking them, hey, a couple days later, you circle back to the conversation. I know last we chatted, you mentioned to me that feeling a little bit stuck with content, and I actually just came out with a new training in my free Facebook group on content. Would you like to check it out? That one simple question, that one small ask, that indirect ask, you're not asking directly, hey, buy my thing. Hey, jump into my program. Whoops. Hey, do this, hey, do that. You're giving them a simple micro commitment to make towards you. But not only that, you're not even asking for anything in return. You're just giving. You're giving free value. 9 times out of 10, that person will say yes. They will join your group, for example. Let's say that video is in your Facebook group. You tag them in that video or you drop them the link to it. They consume it and watch it. And now quickly they're warmed up. They see the fact that you actually care about their success, that you listen to them in the conversation and that you have their best interest in mind. And yet you still have not asked for anything in return. So now we've easily taken someone from the cold stage to the warm stage, one step closer to being hot. Now, maybe they don't want to jump on a call with us right now after watching that first video because like they said, they just signed up with a mentor, but they're that much closer to exploring the opportunity and the idea if we can continue to nudge them along. So they may turn into a direct follow-up after this, to where they're progressing along this line. Maybe they jumped in and consumed more of your content in your group, or they just checked out your recent Facebook post and really got some ahas from that. Now we can circle back to them as well as anybody else that we've gotten to this point, or let's say anybody else that we offered a call to before, but they said no, the timing wasn't right. This person was a hot lead. So we have actually 2 people here. Let's spell this out a little bit easier. We have this dude here that just joined your group. He said he had a mentor. You respected it, you acknowledged it, you heard him, you took into effect what they said before in the chat, and you offered him free value around that area. He is here. This guy was one of your warmer opportunities before that you thought was gonna for sure jump on a call, and then you went and offered the call and he either ghosted you or he said timing was off. So you left him go for a while and you went back to focus on bringing new people in and new cold leads. Now you have 2 people that are closest to taking this next step with you. One guy that you're likely forgetting about right now, if not multiple guys like this in your audience right now, like we talked about, that are here and waiting, but nothing has really stood out for them to be curious enough to take that next step with you. And we're kind of forgetting about him, focusing on the new people. Then we have this guy that's warming up, it's really enjoying the fact that we went out of our way to give him some help without asking for anything in return. So now we can come back to both these people, this guy first, because he is the closest opportunity, just like going into any Messenger process that day. If you're diving into Messenger to create opportunities, your objective is to likely either present a sales page, an offer doc to sell directly in Messenger, or to come out of that day with a couple of booked calls to create opportunities and chat with them on the call and ultimately invite them to your program, bringing more money into your business. This is where the focus should be to start the day, on these people. Because these people, although we want to continue to bring new people in, they're not closest to taking this next step yet. We got to warm them up, just like we did this guy here. So we can come back to this fellow that's in the hot spot, that was close to jumping in that call with us, but the timing wasn't right. We wait 2 weeks and we pull out what I like to call our re-offer strategy. And we look back at the conversation and we see what was shared with us. We show him that we're listening to this, or her, and we share with them by circling back into the conversation an opportunity that we just opened up for not just him, but 2 other people that we're also speaking to that's in this bucket that's dealing with this one pain that we can help with. And we invite them to explore the option of us talking about how we can help resolve that pain for them in this opportunity. And just like that, they say yes. They know that you are keeping them top of mind. They appreciate that you were actually listening and being attentive to what was said in the conversation before. And the opportunity comes back to life, and more than likely, it converts into a paying client. I just shared this exact re-offer process that we use within our business, the exact scripting, the exact framework around it on a private coaching session last week. One of the clients took the training within 24, it was about 30 hours to be exact. Went out and sent this out to 5 people that were in this bucket before. They were close to taking the next step with him, but never booked a call that he forgot about. And he even said to me, Blake, honestly, I was so focused on bringing new leads in that I lost sight of these people. So I deployed the re-offer strategy that you share with us, and within 30 hours, I converted a $2,500 sale. And I brought a new client into my program that I can serve and help going forward. He was super excited. And he didn't even see this opportunity in his pipeline before this training itself. And that's what I want to help you guys do that are watching this live here today. Number 1, I want to help you understand exactly how to handle the waters of Messenger, to know what's to come in the beginning stage of somebody being a cold lead, and how to transition the convo to the end of being a hot lead and a buyer. And I want to help you straight away today, this week only, also deploy my re-offer strategy to start extracting opportunities and enrolling clients into your program and making high ticket sales as quickly as possible. And to do this, I'm opening up an exclusive opportunity, as a few of you may have seen from a post earlier this week. It's available this week only. You can jump into my Messenger Masterclass and the exact re-offer strategy that I share with my private coaching clients for less than $100. So the Messenger Masterclass alone, we sell for $197. And we're doing this on special this week only at 50% off at $97. But because I want to help you guys deploy what we're talking about here today, see the power of it, and show you what can happen when we get this down, I am exclusively this week only extending the opportunity to plug into my re-offer strategy in a 1.5 hour training, breaking this down in detail with the script, with the framework, with everything included, to help you deploy this and do what Mike did and convert a sale within 48 hours. This will be available this week only for $97. Those that want to jump into this, comment messenger me below, and I will share the link directly with the coupon code to plug into the savings and to plug into the exclusive bonus that we have never ever shared before, aside from sharing it with our private clients these last 2 weeks. And this is a re-offer strategy alone that's generated us over $100,000 in the last year alone in follow-up opportunities that we at first were losing sight of until we started to test and deploy this. And we quickly found that this is the most efficient way to revive opportunities in our inbox and convert them into paying clients and long-term relationships going forward. Super excited to see the results that come from anybody here this week that joins into this, because I know without a doubt, this will be the most highly leveraged $97 investment that you will ever make. This re-offer strategy alone is going to be something that you not only come back to straight away as you jump into it, but continue to come back to week after week to use to pull opportunities out of your inbox that you previously chatted with, create high trust opportunities and conversations, and ultimately convert new paying clients and enrollments into your high ticket programs. So those that jump in, be sure to drop me a message as you start deploying this on the opportunities and sales that you make through this itself. With that said, we will wrap up today's training as we approach the top of the hour here, and I will see you all back on the next one and be chatting with those of you here soon that are interested in jumping into this opportunity, where I'll share the link and we can get you next steps on plugging into things straight away. Those that do happen to jump in just by seeing the link itself, you'll see that as you first jump into things, it's going to be that Messenger Masterclass and the course on this with the complete training script and resources with it. As you do jump in, reach out to me afterwards and I will send you this exclusive re-offer training, this 1.5 hour long replay, along with a mind map and script that pairs with it as the bonus that we are extending this week only. So with that said, it's a wrap for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next one.